trips, private trips for many years. But I want you to know I have a good rating system on days, how days go. I know I never had a bad day in Israel, so that's for sure. I never had a bad day. I don't care what the weather is, I don't care what happens, we always have good days. But there's good days, and there's great days, and there's super days. And I want to tell you the barometer, how you know if it was a super day. Super day is, and Solomon pointed this out, and I think he's absolutely correct in his analysis. A super day is when you start to see that God is weaving a thread between all the visits that you're making. And you start to see that God is just putting puzzle pieces together. An example, we started the day in the cemetery, rightfully so, visiting Acham Avadia Yosef. I wouldn't feel right if we didn't start the day visiting the great Rabbi of Israel. We went to visit Acham ben Sion Abba Shaul up the hill, and then Rabbi Sadka. Those were the three main rabbis we visited. And then, not 3 hours later, in the Knesset, now Knesset is a secular place. It's not a place where you expect to, get inspired, let's say, religiously. And Adi Adelchi gets up, and I just want to tell you that we started yeshivas to educate 60,000 children in Israel, and I want you to know who was behind it. 3 rabbis, Rabbi Avadia Yosef, Rabbi Ben Sion Abba Shaul, and Rabbi Yehuda Sadka. But I don't believe it. We just came from these 3 rabbis. And now you're coming along and telling us that these 3 rabbis... So that already indicated to us that we're onto something proper. Now I want you to know also, listen, we're going to give the credit to the organizers because they stepped there. No, because you have to. And I want you to know how it works. I don't want to say anything out of order. We think organizers are organized and have everything down pat. That's what you're so competent in the organization skills that you have everything working, and you saw today it just flows. Bing, 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 bing. I want you to know that 3 minutes before each item, it wasn't going to happen. And they're calm as a cucumber. They say, okay, but the greatness of an organizer is that's Israel. You have to go with the hashgacha. You have to just go with the flow, and not get nervous. And okay, we're going to make an adjustment. We'll make an adjustment. We'll go there because in Israel, it's not us doing anything. It's all the Shekhinah. God's running the whole trip, but you have to let go to let the Shekhinah do its magic. And today, for Rabbi Hillel to talk to us, where his son told him it's over, and he tells his son, I'm not done yet, I still got more to tell you. That's right. Now, a rabbi usually, he don't want to do this. It's an inconvenience. They're coming from America, I'll give them 10 minutes and I got to go back to my business. And he's telling his son, I'm not done yet, I'm in the middle of the Hiddush and they got to hear this. That tells me that he was enjoying the moment just as much as we were enjoying the moment. That's a big item, and he's one of the biggest Kabbalists that we have in the world today. And then you go to the chief rabbi of Israel, and you're taking him out of his office. We didn't visit him in his house. We visited him in his workplace. And in his workplace, he's dealing with the whole country. This was on his work time, and he comes upstairs and he starts to give us the most stories about his father. And then what does he tell us? He tells us about his grandfather, Rabbi's father, Rabbi Fatal. Most of you never heard of Rabbi Fatal, ever. Rabbi Fatal's Rabbi's father-in-law. Professor of Kabbalah at Hebrew University for 1 day, until they fired him. Why they fired him? Because he was effective, because he was bringing people back to religion. They said that you're too good. The people are believing you, go home. And then we go to Rabbi Hadaya, and Rabbi Hadaya takes out a picture and says, when my grandfather, Rabbi Shalom, was the Rosh Hashanah, his main student was Rabbi Abraham Fatal, the father of it. When you start to hear that there's correlation between the visits and the same names are coming up between all the people, that's only an indication that God was with us today. I want you to know, and there's no way, even I think the only one maybe is the Rosh Kolel will know how to size these people that we visited up today. These are not small people. Rabbi Rabinovich is not a small man. Rabbi Atiyeh. We have a problem when we visit these guys because they're unbelievable masquerade artists. they're able to masquerade themselves like regular guys, like simple guys, and they do it where even I know their greatness. Sometimes I say, you know, maybe he is a regular guy. They can fool me, and I know it already. I've exposed them already, but they can trick me. So if you don't realize when you see Rabbi Gamliel jumping around, you say cute guy. You don't understand that this man has wrote books to define the Kabbalah, I mean, on every single level. And then but that's the greatness of the greats. Why we love these rabbis is they're humble, and they have no ego, and they have no airs about themselves. They welcome you to the house, no nervousness, no anger, no nothing. And listen, we were able to rub elbows today with some of the greats of the greats. We were in a room that was established by the great rabbis like the Rashash. He's one of the greatest Kabbalists of all time. And it flowed properly. Even though we have a bus, and even though when you have a bus there's delays, all that, but at the end of the day, we got everything done. We didn't miss one item on the schedule, and we got the Luciana, which is the, and you gotta eat. Listen, you gotta eat. Even the Rosh Hashanah said you gotta eat. You gotta eat. He even told me now you gotta sleep also. So listen, you gotta have a human side of the trip at the end of the day.
Make sure we have lunch tomorrow.
Hold on. Jackson, let's just eat. Forget about the rabbi. I think you eat all day. No problem with that. I think Stevie's with you on that one over there. In any event, it was a great day. If I'm judging the day today, it gets a 10. It gets a 10 because first of all, the members they're happy, they're going with the flow, everybody's good with it, nobody's nervous, everybody understands that that's the way these trips work. But credit has to go to the organizers because they took the guts to sign their name to it. Even though it's all God. But they signed their name.
Rabbi,
I want to thank
Rabbi,
Franco, and I want
Rabbi
to thank Toby Saliman. Great.
And the Rabbi.
And guess what?
And the Rabbi.
The best is yet to come. We're just getting warmed up, and we just pray that the Siyata D'Shmaya should be with our congregation, and we should still continue to see the magic that you can only see in the Holy Land. Toby, if you just want to give...
Rabbi, I want to say thank you very much to the Rabbi
Forget it. That's another guy who's invisible. He makes himself like he's a simple guy. Rabbi Oren, by the way, has connections. I don't think Donald Trump has the connection that this guy has over here. When he comes in, he's Hamluta with this guy, he lives with every single notable guy in Israel. I know the rabbi for 10 years, he never mentioned it once to me that he lived with these people over here. But when you need him, he's there in the right place, and he's invisible, and he's proper. And today what he did in the Knesset, and then on the way out of the Knesset, if it wasn't enough, that you see Jonathan Pollard having dessert, and say, hold it, that's Jonathan Pollard. And then, of course, we harassed him because you can't harass a guy that was in solitary confinement for 30 years. No matter what you're going to do to the guy, it's not as bad as what he went through. So he said, okay, what's the difference? He saw everything, the guy. How bad can it be? So we interrupted his lunch. To him, that's a luxury compared to what he went through. In any event, we were able to talk to a guy like that, a national hero for our people. And he's well, what is that? We didn't go to see Pollard, but when Hashem puts you on the road, that's like a cherry on the cake. Okay, you know, even though we don't care about the government too much and all the politics, that was something that we got on the way out. So anyway, I want to thank the organizers. Maybe I want to ask Toby just to say a few words on the postscript of the first day. And don't wait for that. You're on your own.
So first of all, thank you for everybody for coming.
Do me a favor, can they shut the music over there? You have the whole restaurant. What do we need this music for?
We tried.
No, but people on the wall. Oh, there's people over there? No, the music over there. It's one of my head.
So thank you everybody for coming, of course, and taking the leap of faith with the shul to come all the way halfway across the world and believe in what we're doing. And everybody was pretty much Na'aseh v'nishma on the whole itinerary and everything. Everybody signed up 30 rooms in 24 hours. It's unbelievable what happened. So the Dr. Morris Sal, who put this all together, it's unbelievable. But at the same time, we need to reflect on why this is really going on, and that's really the rabbi. Everything that happened today doesn't happen. All these doors don't open without the rabbi. You guys can't believe how many people called us in the last few weeks, Solomon, saying, we heard the rabbi is coming, we want to meet with him. And how many people, unfortunately, we had to turn down. It's unreal. Whenever you come to Israel, you don't get access to these people. It's all because of the rabbi. So we know why we're here. We know why the shul runs. We know it all starts from the top, and there's one person that we all look up to. But at the same time, sometimes you need to take a step back and remember that the rabbi is really the reason why all of this is happening. So Rabbi, thank you very much. We look forward to everything the rest of the week. And it's a blessing that we're with you on this and we're sharing in this simcha. There's people from Brooklyn that texted me and Sal and said, how did the rabbi get access to Bibi? And this happened in the middle of the night in New York. How did they know? So word spreads very fast. And again, we're blessed to be here. And thank you, Rabbi, for everything that you do for us and you teach us and guide us. L'chaim, everybody.